I'm James Farlow,
And I'm Rebecca Farlow.
and we are co-directors of an organization called Sanctuary. Sanctuary is a nonprofit ministry that works with churches and communities to welcome the LGBT community. We work with a wide variety of theological perspectives. Now, of course, we're straight allies, and people often ask us why we're involved with the LGBT Christian community. How did we get involved with this ministry? And the short story is that a childhood friend of mine actually started an organization called the Gay Christian Network. His name is Justin Lee. And about 9 years ago, we got together with him for dinner and just started asking him about his life and GCN and the ministry that they have. And it was clear when we met with him at that dinner that God was working in his life, that he was using Justin to minister to people who had been utterly rejected by their families and by their churches. And so that started us thinking and processing, kind of examining our own beliefs and wanting to be more hospitable to those from the LGBT community.
So Sanctuary began kind of out of those experiences with gay Christians. And I have had the opportunity to lead musical worship at a number of conferences. And they have always just really, really welcomed us. They don't mind that we're straight. They have just really made us feel at home. And I was struck by each year I'd lead worship, and we do kind of a blend of a lot of contemporary and then some more traditional music. And people would come up and say, "This is the only time of year that I get to worship." And I thought, that's tragic. That's not okay. That there should be spaces for you where you can feel safe. And so Sanctuary began out of that desire to kind of see more churches and more worship spaces open up and be more welcoming to LGBT Christians.
And one of the big kind of founding parts of who we are is the idea that people can worship even when they're different, even when they have different beliefs. We've seen that in action in the LGBT Christian community. So that's something we carry forward as a part of Sanctuary. And we really do three things to try to help churches and communities. The first is just consulting with leadership teams and churches as they go through this process. We've been working with people for a long time on how to have these kinds of dialogues in a healthy, constructive manner, how to process different parts of the educational aspects of learning what the LGBT community is, what the LGBT Christian community is, how they relate to each other, whole different aspects, introducing folks to a lot of LGBT Christians that we know, because we never desire to speak for them. We always try to just be a part of the conversation and do a lot of education. The second thing that we do is help lead small groups. Small groups, it turns out, are one of the safest places to have real compassionate dialogue. Because in small groups, you can get to know the person across the table from you. You can spend time listening to their story, them listening to yours, and then together looking at scripture together, praying together, just talking about life together. We do this with communities both in person and online for families, parents, LGBT people, just members of churches who are interested in having the discussion.
And then finally, we are creating a music platform for musicians of all sexual orientations and gender identities to be able to come together to create new music for the church and to be able to worship and play in bands together.
So if this sounds like something that you might be interested in, please check out our website, www.sanctuaryforall, that's F-O-R, not the number 4, so sanctuaryforall.org, and send us an email. We'd be happy to talk to you further.